Most people think that as soon as Bilbo Baggins vanished from his 111th birthday party, the race to destroy the One Ring began immediately. In Peter Jackson's films, the pacing suggests that Gandalf rides to Minas Tirith, reads a few dusty scrolls, and rushes back to Bag End within a matter of weeks. However, the reality of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings is far more patient, methodical, and in many ways more terrifying. To understand the true weight of Frodo's journey, we have to look at the hidden years that the movies left on the cutting room floor. The most shocking revelation for those who have only seen the films is the massive gap between Bilbo's departure and Frodo's flight from the Shire. When Bilbo left in the year 3001 of the Third Age, Frodo was just a young hobbit of 33, which is the age of coming of age for his folk. By the time he actually stepped out of Bag End with the ring in his pocket to begin his quest, he was 50 years old. That is a 17-year gap. 17 long years where the One Ring sat quietly in a wooden chest or a drawer while the rest of Middle-earth moved toward its doom. Why did it take so long? Because Tolkien's world operates on the scale of history, not Hollywood pacing. During this nearly two-decade period, the shadow in the east was not idle. It was slowly and methodically lengthening its reach. While Frodo was enjoying a peaceful, albeit slightly lonely life in the Shire, Gandalf was playing the ultimate game of high-stakes detective work. He didn't just visit one library and find the answer. He traveled thousands of miles across the continent. He searched for Gollum for years, eventually enlisting the help of a young, skilled ranger named Aragorn. It was actually during this 17-year gap that the legendary friendship between Aragorn and Gandalf was truly forged in the dangerous wilds of Rhovanion. They finally caught Gollum in the Dead Marshes in 3017, 16 years after Bilbo's party. Only then, after interrogating the creature and visiting the archives of Minas Tirith to read the long-forgotten words of Isildur, did Gandalf realize the true and terrible nature of Frodo's inheritance. Even after Gandalf returned to Bag End in April 3018 to tell Frodo the truth, they didn't just run out the door. Frodo spent another 6 months meticulously planning a fake move to Buckland to avoid raising suspicion among his neighbors. He wanted to leave quietly, as if he were simply retiring to the countryside. When the journey finally began on September 23rd, the trek to Bree was far from a quick walk. In the books, this week-long journey is a nightmare of close calls and ancient dangers. The hobbits weren't just dodging Black Riders, they were trapped by Old Man Willow in the depths of the old forest and nearly sacrificed by the terrifying Barrow Wights on the foggy hills. These are legendary encounters that the movies skipped entirely. By the time Frodo finally stumbled into the prancing pony in Bree on the night of September 29th, he had been the master of the ring for 17 years, 7 months, and 7 days. The grand scale of the timeline doesn't stop there. While the actual quest to destroy the ring took about 6 months after leaving the Shire, the story continues long after Mount Doom falls. Frodo spent 2 more years in Middle-earth, dealing with the psychological scars of his burden and witnessing the scouring of the Shire, a final battle to reclaim his home that was also absent from the films. From the very first firework at Bilbo's party to the emotional moment Frodo boarded the ship at the Grey Havens to sail into the West, Exactly 20 years had passed. This isn't just a story of a quick adventure or a lucky escape. It is a 20-year saga of sacrifice, the slow process of aging, and the quiet fading of an entire era. When you watch the Fellowship navigate the dark mines of Moria, remember that Frodo wasn't a reckless youth caught up in a whirlwind. He was a 50-year-old hobbit who had waited half a lifetime for his moment of destiny, proving that true heroism isn't about speed, but about the endurance to carry a burden for decades.